Every song on this list was refused, passed over, redirected, sometimes willingly, sometimes by accident, sometimes by people who were not even in the room.
You once belonged in the back of a dream car, 20 foot long. Don't cry, my sweet, don't break.
And in every case, what the bigger act wouldn't touch became the foundation of something the world has heard 10,000 times. This is not a list of bad decisions. This is the map underneath the map. Let's trace the lines. Number 10, For Your Love, The Yardbirds, 1965. The song that launched the Yardbirds also drove Eric Clapton out of the band, and before it reached either of them, it had already been turned down by the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, and the Animals. Keep that in mind as we go. Graham Gouldman wrote For Your Love while working days in a men's clothing shop in Salford and playing nights with his own band, the Mockingbirds. He wrote it for himself. Columbia Records rejected it immediately. His manager, Harvey Lisberg, was so convinced the song was a hit that he shopped it to every major British act he could reach. Herman's Hermits said no. The Animals passed. Lisberg even proposed it to the Beatles, who, as Gouldman himself admitted, were doing well enough in the songwriting department that the idea went nowhere fast. Then a publisher noticed the Yardbirds playing support alongside the Beatles at the Hammersmith Odeon Christmas show in 1964. He made a call. The song got to the band's manager, Giorgio Gomelski. The Yardbirds listened. They all liked it, except one. Eric Clapton hated For Your Love. He played on the recording under protest, then walked out of the band 8 days after its release. Too commercial, too pop, too far from the blues he had appointed himself to protect. And if you follow where Clapton went next, you see the whole shape of this. John Mayall's Blues Breakers, the training ground that sharpened him into something new. Then Cream, then White Room, Sunshine of Your Love, Layla. Then the Allman Brothers absorbing that sound. Then Derek and the Dominoes. Then the entire lineage of British blues rock that ran through the following 20 years. All of it traceable, in a direct line, to the moment the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, and the Animals said no. And one guitarist decided a song that 3 other bands had already rejected wasn't good enough for him either. That is what a rejection looks like when you follow it far enough down the map. Number 9, Suffragette City, David Bowie, 1972. In January 1972, David Bowie offered a song to Mott the Hoople. They turned it down. What happened next changed 2 careers at once, and only one of them got the credit. Bowie was at the very beginning of his Ziggy Stardust phase. Not yet the dominant figure he would become, but moving fast towards something enormous. He admired Mott the Hoople, an established British hard rock act with real albums behind them, and he offered Suffragette City as a single. Frontman Ian Hunter heard it and said plainly, "I didn't think it was good enough." Bowie took the song back and recorded it himself. It ended up on the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. It became one of the defining tracks of the album, one of the most anthemic moments in the glam rock canon. The moment that band said no, Bowie built it into the architecture of one of the most important rock records ever made. But here is what nobody frames correctly. Mott the Hoople's bass player, Pete Watts, still had Bowie's number from the demo tape of Suffragette City he had been sent. Months later, when the band was dissolving, facing the end of the road entirely, Watts called Bowie, told him what was happening, and Bowie said, "Don't do anything, I'll work something out." Within hours, Bowie wrote All the Young Dudes. He produced it for Mott the Hoople. It became the biggest hit of their career. It saved the band. It became the anthem of a generation. And you just connected that to something? I know you did. The rejected song didn't just become a classic. The rejected song's rejection was the reason the phone call happened that produced a completely different classic. That is the line. That is what the map underneath looks like. Number 8, Golden Years, David Bowie, 1975. This previously showed you Bowie on the giving end of a rejection. This one shows you Bowie on the receiving end, writing for someone who said no, and what he made from that answer. In 1975, both David Bowie and Elvis Presley were signed to RCA Records. Colonel Tom Parker, Presley's manager, the man who controlled every professional decision the King made, reached out through channels with a proposal. Bowie should write songs for Elvis. And Bowie, who had worshipped Presley since childhood, who wore an Elvis fan club badge on his guitar strap on the cover of Born to Run, was not going to turn that invitation down. He wrote Golden Years, a funk-rooted, soul-inflected song that channeled the deep croon of early Presley directly. You can hear it in the verses, the way Bowie drops into a register that sounds like Memphis, 1956. Let me hear you say lights taking you nowhere. He wrote it for the man. He sent the demo to Graceland. Presley's management rejected it. The reason given was that the song was not right for Elvis. Presley himself sent Bowie a handwritten note that read, "All the best and have a great tour." Bowie kept that note for the rest of his life. He recorded Golden Years himself. It became the lead single from Station to Station, one of the most celebrated records of his career, the album that introduced the Thin White Duke, a persona built, in part, from the void left by the King who wouldn't collaborate. Follow this thread. Bowie writes for Mott the Hoople. They reject the song. He keeps it and builds Ziggy Stardust around it. Bowie writes for Elvis Presley. Management rejects the song. He keeps it and builds Station to Station around it. The pattern is not failure. The pattern is transformation. What comes back through a closed door often becomes more essentially yours than anything that walked through an open one. Let me hear you say lights taking you nowhere.
Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story.
Number 7, Because the Night, Patti Smith Group, 1978.
Love is an angel disguised as
Springsteen started this song on the very first day of the Darkness on the Edge of Town sessions, June 1977. He had the music, he had the chorus, he had the hook, because the night belongs to lovers. What he did not have was the rest of it. The reason he couldn't finish it is the connection. Darkness on the Edge of Town was going to be a record about stripping everything down to something raw and undecorated, because The Night was a love song, a direct one, too open. Springsteen said it himself, he was uncomfortable with it. It needed directness. And at that time, he was hunkered down in something else entirely. The song sat, unfinished, in the studio, until Jimmy Iovine walked it out the door. Iovine was engineering Springsteen's sessions at the record plant in New York. He was also, in a different room, in the same building, producing Patti Smith's album Easter. He heard the unfinished track. He saw what it could be. He convinced Springsteen to pass the cassette, and he got it to Smith. Smith finished the lyrics in one sitting, writing through the specifics of a long-distance love with Fred Sonic Smith of the MC5. She turned an unfinished chorus into one of the most emotionally direct rock songs of the decade, because The Night reached number 13 in the United States and number 5 in the United Kingdom. It became the only mainstream hit of Patti Smith's entire career. Springsteen himself said she did it better than he could have. And now, remember the name Jimmy Iovine. Remember what he did here. He will appear again on this list, in a different studio, with different artists, doing the exact same thing. Number 6, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Stevie Nicks with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, 1981. Earlier in this list, I told you to remember the name Jimmy Iovine. This is where that lands. In 1981, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers had finished recording Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Not demoed it, finished it. Petty's lead vocal was on the track. The Heartbreakers had played every instrument. The song was complete, sitting on the shelf, slated for the Hard Promises album. Iovine was producing that record. He was also, simultaneously, producing Stevie Nicks' debut solo album Belladonna. And when he heard Stop Dragging My Heart Around again, he heard it differently. He heard Nicks. He went to Petty and made the case. Give the song away. Petty resisted. He had already recorded it. It was his. Iovine 1. What you hear on Stop Dragging My Heart Around is not a traditional duet. It is Nicks singing over the Heartbreakers' complete, finished recording. Petty's lead vocal wiped from the verses, his voice remaining in the chorus where the harmony already sat between them. Nicks sang the verses of a song that was never written for her, over an arrangement that was never built for her, and turned it into the defining moment of a debut album that went platinum 4 times. Stop Dragging My Heart Around reached number 3 in the United States. It launched a solo career that ran 4 decades. Here is the line. Because The Night, Springsteen to Patti Smith. Stop Dragging My Heart Around, Petty to Nicks. The same producer, the same principle. 2 different years, 2 different pairs of artists. One man who understood that the right song in the wrong hands is just a song, but the right song in the right hands is a career. Iovine understood that. Twice. Number 5, I Love Rock and Roll, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, 1981. Alan Merrill wrote I Love Rock and Roll in 1975 as a direct response to the Rolling Stones' It's Only Rock and Roll, But I Like It. Where Mick Jagger seemed to be hedging, offering rock and roll as something he knew wasn't quite sophisticated enough for the aristocracy he was increasingly keeping company with. Merrill wanted a declaration. No apology, no qualification, just the statement, full volume.
It don't matter, he said, 'cause it's all the same.
The Arrows released it. It didn't chart. It became a B-side. Joan Jett was on tour in England with the Runaways in 1976 when she caught the Arrows performing it on their UK television series.
I knew he must have been about 17.
She went home that night with a copy of the record and knew exactly what she had found. She brought it to her bandmates. The Runaways passed. They didn't hear what she heard.
Yeah, me. Next we're moving on. It was with me.
The moment the band dissolved in 1979, Jett recorded it immediately. One session, Steve Jones and Paul Cook of the Sex Pistols backing her. She released it as a B-side. Nothing happened. 2 years later, she recorded it again, with the Blackhearts on her own label, Blackheart Records, started because every major label in America had turned her down. And this time, I Love Rock and Roll spent 7 weeks at number 1. It became the defining rock anthem of the early 1980s. It became so associated with Joan Jett that most people who love the song have never once wondered who wrote it.
I saw him dancing there by the record machine.
4 bands connected through one song. The Arrows wrote it, the Runaways rejected it, the Sex Pistols helped record the B-side version, the Blackhearts built a career out of it. The map doesn't get much cleaner than that. Number 4, Call Me, Blondie, 1980. Giorgio Moroder was the Italian producer who had already restructured the DNA of dance music through Donna Summer's I Feel Love. In 1979, he needed a voice for the title theme of American Gigolo, a film about seduction, surface, and the performance of identity. He had a track called Man Machine. He needed someone to build it into a song. He went to Stevie Nicks first. Nicks had just signed with Modern Records to launch her solo career. The contract was airtight. She could not collaborate with Moroder without breaching it. This was not a creative decision. She couldn't say yes even if she wanted to. The door closed not because she chose it, but because of paperwork signed months before anyone knew this song would exist. Moroder called Debbie Harry. Harry watched a rough cut of the film, walked across Central Park that same evening with the melody forming, and wrote the entire lyric in a matter of hours. Call Me became the biggest selling single of 1980. 6 weeks at number 1, the definitive track in Blondie's catalog. 2 things are worth holding here. First, Nicks didn't choose not to record Call Me. A contract made that decision, the same way Colonel Tom Parker's decision made the choice about Golden Years for Elvis Presley. The artist and the institution behind the artist are not always the same thing. Sometimes you're not in the room when the refusal happens. Second, the song Harry wrote and the song Nicks would have written were not the same song. The no didn't just redirect the track, it transformed what it became. Every no on this list did. That is not accidental. That is the shape of how rock history actually works. Number 3. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Bonnie Tyler, 1983. Jim Steinman wrote Bat Out of Hell. If you need a reminder of what that means, 43 million copies sold, 16 years on the UK charts. Songs built like they were composed by someone who understood opera, theater, and the physics of the electric guitar simultaneously. And by 1982, he and Meat Loaf were not working together. The details were complicated: a label dispute, a contractual breakdown, Meat Loaf's well-documented vocal problems. The result was simple. Steinman had material that belonged to that universe, and Meat Loaf couldn't touch it. Meat Loaf later said the song was rightfully his. Steinman said he wrote it specifically for Tyler, after meeting her. Both things may be partially true. The argument between them never fully resolved. What is certain? Bonnie Tyler had watched Meat Loaf perform Bat Out of Hell on the BBC's Old Grey Whistle test. She had the presence of mind to think, I want to work with whoever wrote that. She found Steinman. She convinced him to hear her out. He agreed to collaborate. Total Eclipse of the Heart, originally conceived as a vampire love song, with traces of a Steinman musical that never fully materialized, was the centerpiece. Steinman described Tyler's voice as not pure, not smooth, ravaged, like it's been through a lot. That description is also a definition of what the song required. Meat Loaf would have been a different song. The right voice arrived through the right door, only because another door had closed. Number 1 in 8 countries, best-selling single in the United Kingdom in 1983. Meat Loaf watched it happen from the outside. They eventually released a dual greatest hits album together. They called it Heaven and Hell, which is probably accurate. Number 2, Eye of the Tiger, Survivor, 1982. By 1982, Survivor had released 2 albums. Neither had broken through. The band was concerned they were about to be dropped. Then Sylvester Stallone called. Stallone was editing Rocky III and needed a song that could match the film's central image. A champion who had gotten soft, being forced to rediscover what made him dangerous. He had been using Another One Bites the Dust by Queen as a placeholder in the fight montage. He went to Queen for the licensing rights. Queen said no. Stallone enlisted Survivor after Queen denied him permission to use Another One Bites the Dust. He sent the band a VHS of the film, with Queen's Another One Bites the Dust still in the place where Eye of the Tiger would end up, and told them he needed something with a pulse to match the rhythm of the boxing sequences. He needed something street. He needed something that felt like hunger. Survivor's guitarist Frankie Sullivan and keyboardist Jim Petterick wrote the song, conceiving a riff based on chord changes to mirror the timing of punches. They had it done in days. The demo was so strong that Stallone liked it so much he did not wait for them to re-record it, though the version on their record was done in a professional studio. Eye of the Tiger reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 6 weeks, spent 15 consecutive weeks in the top 10, and was the second best-selling single of 1982. It won the Grammy for Best Rock Performance. In May 2024, it reached 1 billion views on YouTube. Here is what you need to hold. Queen denied a licensing request, not a songwriting request. They were not offered a song. They were asked to give permission for a song they had already recorded. That distinction matters because it means what Survivor wrote was not a redirect of Queen's song. It was an entirely new thing, born from the shape of a hole that Queen's No created. Stallone did not get a replacement. He got something that could not have existed any other way. Jim Petterick would later say, "Thank you, Queen." Number 1. Don't You Forget About Me, Simple Minds, 1985. Keith Forsey wrote this song for The Breakfast Club and could not find anyone to touch it. What happened next is the most complete circuit on this entire list. He went to Simple Minds first. They had a policy. They wrote their own material. They said no. Forsey then went to Brian Ferry, who was finishing Boys and Girls, his first post-Roxy Music solo record. Ferry passed. Cy Curnin of The Fix passed. Then came Billy Idol, late 1984. Rebel Yell had just made Idol one of the biggest rock acts in the world. His own producer, Keith Forsey, the man who had co-written the song, considered Idol's voice built exactly for it. Co-producer Michelle Manning said later, he didn't understand. A lot of people that passed will never say they passed. Idol walked away. Forsey went back to Simple Minds. And here's the connection nobody makes. One of the other artists he had approached was Chrissie Hynde of The Pretenders, who was at that moment married to Simple Minds singer Jim Kerr. Hynde had rejected the song, and Hynde was the person who finally persuaded Kerr to reconsider. The woman who turned it down was also the only person who could get the right man to say yes. Once you see that, you cannot unsee it. Simple Minds recorded Don't You Forget About Me in a single afternoon in November 1984. They had watched a private screening of the film. They weren't sure. They still thought the song was, in Kerr's own word, generic. They recorded it anyway, reluctantly, because every other option had dissolved. May 1985, number 1 in America, top 3 on 7 national charts. That summer, Live Aid, Philadelphia. The defining anthem of a generation, recorded in one afternoon by a band that had said no. Simple Minds refused, Ferry refused, Kernan refused, Idol refused, Hynde refused, and then Hynde broke the chain. The song nobody wanted became the song nobody forgot.